welcome to the More Free Time Portland podcast. Do you feel like there's just not enough time in your day? Overwhelmed with all the responsibilities of life? This podcast was designed to give you practical tools and resources to not only get more free time, but to help you thrive as a mom, wife, and busy professional and help you win back your day. If you're receiving tons of value from this podcast, subscribe, rate, and review so that we can help more people like you. Now, on to the show with me, your host, Ashley Whaley. Hello, hello. How are you guys? I am, as always, so pumped to be here. And I've got a very fun topic. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily fun. I think it's fun. But I think it's a topic that is going to help you guys get some more time back in your life, because that's always our goal, is to add value and hopefully help you get some time back. And the subject that we are going to talk about today is the power of no, the word no. So do you want to get more time back? Learn to say no. Do you want to gain more time? Learn to say no. And it sounds like such a simple concept, but for a lot of us, it's hard. It's hard to tell people no. And I don't know about you guys, but I know there's been so many times where I have said yes to something that I really did not want to say yes to. So have you ever had times where you've said yes to something when you really wanted to say no? I am so guilty of this, and it's still an area where there is definitely room for improvement. But if you can learn to say no more, you will find yourself filled with more joy, less worry, and more time to do the things that you love to do, whatever that might be for you. And there's some tips, and so I want to share with you what I've learned so far. And some things that have really helped me in saying no is knowing where you are going as a family. So for us, we're a family. For you, you might be single, but just knowing where you're going and what you want the end result to be for your life. So my husband and I are very goal-oriented, and we filter decisions through whether or not saying yes will hinder our goals or help us move forward. So now there are, of course, exceptions to this rule. And there's, things that come up where it's like, oh, this definitely isn't going to move us forward, but it's going to be really fun. It's going to be great quality time. And that quality time is super important. And we'll get a little bit more into like what it looks like to schedule things out. But just having that in the back of our mind as a filter has helped immensely. So that's something that you can ask yourself, is saying yes to this going to hinder me from moving forward? Or is it going to empower me to really reach closer to that end result of that life that you want? So that's been something that we've learned along the way for sure. And so we are huge planners. We love to plan, and we really like to have a plan, and we like to put things into our calendar. And this in turn allows us to say yes and no to the right things and not double book. So, and then in turn, it helps us not to become those people who are always wishy-washy, and we all have those people in our lives, and we love them, but I'm sure you can think of a couple people where they're not necessarily the most accountable people that you have in your life, and they're kind of a question mark of whether or not they're actually going to, show up to what they say they're going to do. But one thing that helped us really get on the same page with our calendar is my husband and I, we have a shared, so we share on all of our email platforms because we run businesses together, we run business together. So, but we also have a shared family calendar, and that all goes through our Gmail accounts, which links to our calendar that's on our phone. So maybe some of you don't have a shared email with your spouse, and that might be something that you can incorporate so that when something goes into that family calendar, it shows up on both of your guys' phones or on your computer or wherever, you look at your calendar regularly. But that has really helped us be very strategic with our time and know when we have things going on, so that way we can say yes or say no and, just not be that wishy-washy family, right? So that's definitely helped a lot. Some other things that have helped us learn how to say no is keeping and maintaining a schedule within our home. And I've talked about that a lot already in previous episodes, but the power of getting your home on a cleaning routine is a total game changer. And if you want more insight there, go back and listen to some of the previous episodes. But it's a total game changer on what you say yes to and what you say no to. So just as a simple reminder, laundry is done on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Bedding is done on Sundays, and the house is cleaned on Mondays. So there is so much freedom in this routine, and it allows me to say no to a lot of the housework that will pop up and become a distraction. So that's getting your house on a regular routine, a regular schedule for all the things that pile up throughout the day, the week, the month. It'll free up so much more time when you get it on a schedule. So again, if you want more insight, go back and listen to some of the previous episodes for more details there. Another tip is learning to say no to friends and family, which is easier said than done, but it has been one of the hardest lessons to learn. And like I said earlier, it's an area I will continue to grow in. Having fun is a core value of ours, and we absolutely love our friends and family. But if we said yes to every single barbecue, birthday, baseball game, event, party, camping trip, vacation, etc., all of the things that come along with family and friends and fun, it would pull us away from living the big dreams and the end result that we are pursuing. And so again, going back to that filter, we do say yes to a lot of things, but we know when to say no. And so just really being on the same page, especially as a couple, as a family, and then having those conversations with your friends and family as to why. It's not just like you're just saying no because you want to say no. It's because you're saying no with intention, right? So there is a book, it's called Boundaries, and it's by Henry Cloud and John Townsend. And I read that book a while back, and there was so much value in it. I think I'll have to actually read it again. It's been a while since I've read it. And for those of you who, really want to continue to grow in that area of putting boundaries on, within your family, within your friends, I would definitely check that out, because we definitely want to grow. And I think establishing those boundaries are so key, especially for, growing as a family, growing as a business. And just establishing those boundaries are, once you kind of get into the groove and really know why you're establishing them, it becomes so much easier to actually put those boundaries there. So if boundaries is something that you struggle with, give this book a read. I'm sure it will help. Again, it's Boundaries by Henry Cloud and John Townsend. So maybe some of you guys who are listening to this own a business, and I have a really great tip for you. And for the longest time, you guys, we would say yes to every single cleaning job that came our way as long as we could make it happen. And it was so chaotic. It was chaos all the time, and it was such a time waster looking back on it. But we would say yes to everything. And I've got to tell you, once we really figured out who we wanted to serve, who our ideal client was, the game totally changed. And so we made this decision thanks to a lot of advice from just incredible mentors and coaches that we are just so thankful for. But we were able to, at the beginning of this year, get very clear on what our ideal client would look like. And it's been just a total game changer. So we know who our ideal client is and how to best serve them. And anyone who doesn't fit into that scenario is a no. And at first, it felt a little weird to turn down work and say no, but as we continued to get more clear and noticed more and more of our ideal clients showing up, it became so freeing to say no because we knew we would be saying yes to the right people. So if you are a business owner, figure out your ideal client, make it super, super, super crystal clear, and learn how to say no with tact and grace, of course, and watch your business grow. It's amazing how when you say no to the wrong person, right? Or when you say no, wait, let me backtrack. It gets a little confusing up in my head. So saying yes to the wrong person it's seriously such a huge time suck. And saying no allows you to say yes to the right client. There we go. I got that there. So let me say that again. Saying no allows you to say yes to the right client. And in turn, you are better able to serve them. And ultimately, it gives you so much more time in your day and so much less headache. So just, if you've got a small business that you own and you are just in that position where you're like saying yes to everything just because maybe you have a hard time saying no, or maybe you need the income, whatever it might be, get clarity on who you want to serve. And it's going to give you so much more mental freedom and actual physical time freedom. It's really awesome. So a couple other food for thought items that you can learn to say no to. And these are just kind of my fun thoughts here to kind of wrap this up. But learn to say no to negative, sucky people. Nobody has time for that. That's for darn sure. And people who don't bring you joy, you want to surround yourself with really good people who bring you joy, who respect you, who get you, who treat you the way that you would treat them. You want that mutual love and respect. So be very careful of who you surround yourself with. And if somebody is just not bringing you joy, maybe you need to say no to them. And say no to people who make you feel guilty for telling them no. That's just crazy. There is definitely no time for that. And this is just kind of where I'm at, where I'm like a really big healthy journey right now. And so say no to bad food that doesn't bless your body. Oh my gosh, there has been just so many times where I've eaten something and I'm just like, oh, it was good, but it was so bad. You know what I'm talking about, all the yuck food out there. Just say no to bad food that doesn't bless your body. And say no to bad wine. Nobody has time for bad wine. You want to say yes to the good wine, right? So the power of saying no is so liberating, and I just encourage you to embrace the no. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and just thank you so much for listening, and until next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. If you found value in this podcast, we'd love it if you would subscribe, rate, and review, and please share it with a friend. We love making friends, so let's please connect on social. You can find me on Instagram at Ashley T. Whaley or our cleaning company at More Free Time Cleaning. Until next time, bye guys.